It began as an ordinary journey. One ticket, one destination. The train, an old but sturdy model, rattled along a railway that had long been forgotten by modern routes. Outside, a storm raged, rain slashing against the windows as lightning flickered across the sky. Inside, passengers settled in, weary travelers escaping from their past or heading toward an uncertain future. But as the train approached the Tsarichina Tunnel, reality itself began to unravel. The first sign: passengers vanishing as if plucked from existence itself. The once filled compartment became eerily empty. Luggage remained, but their owners were gone. A child's teddy bear sat abandoned on a seat. A cup of steaming coffee lay untouched, its owner missing. The eerie silence was punctuated only by the occasional creak of the train's frame and the muffled hum of the storm outside. A sudden shudder jolted the train. The lights flickered violently, plunging everything into darkness. A chilling wind rushed through the corridor, though the windows were sealed tight. A distant, distorted murmur of a conductor's announcement barely reached through the thick air, garbled and incomprehensible. Something was wrong. The train carried ghosts, or worse. The walls of the train seemed aged, covered in strange, shifting patterns, like pulsating veins. The air felt alive, pressing against every inch of the space. The once warm interior now held an unnatural chill, seeping into bones, numbing fingers and toes. A guttural, inhuman whisper echoed from behind. "You don't belong here." No one was there, but the presence was undeniable. The very air carried an awareness, a watching, waiting hunger. The train lurched violently as it hurtled through the storm. Ahead, the Tsarichina Tunnel loomed, a gaping mouth of absolute blackness. The rails seemed to dissolve into the void. An old map, dated 1935, had a warning scrawled over it. "Do not enter the tunnel." Torn and frayed at the edges, the paper had a dark stain along its bottom corner. Something too thick to be water. The ink was hurriedly scrawled, the letters jagged as if written with a shaking hand. A crackling radio came to life, transmitting a hollow, desperate voice. "You have to jump before it's too late." But jump where? The landscape outside was a blur of darkness and rain, treetops barely visible before they were swallowed again by the night. The train shuddered violently as it crossed the threshold. Darkness consumed everything. The only sound was the deep groan of metal under an unseen force, as though the train itself was resisting its fate. A sudden flash revealed a different reality. An older, rusted train covered in decay. The seats were filled with skeletal passengers, frozen in time. Their hollow sockets gazed forward, their hands gripping crumbling newspapers with headlines from decades ago. Some had their mouths open in silent screams, their final expressions locked in terror. The faint stench of mildew and something coppery, almost metallic, lingered in the air. The truth revealed: the passengers never left. They simply joined the train. Breath quickened. A chilling realization settled in. I was never supposed to be here. Memories twisted in the protagonist's mind. Had they boarded this train willingly? Where had they been going before everything blurred? The ticket in their pocket felt different now. Thicker, older, the ink smudged. The date on it read October 13th, 1935. A door creaked open. A tall, shadowed figure stood there, its hollow eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Its presence brought a suffocating cold, an ancient force long forgotten. The very air seemed to freeze around it, reality warping at the edges of its form. "Now, you stay." The train jolted again, metal screeching, sparks flying from unseen corners. The windows, once reflecting the storm, now showed something else, a different world entirely. Fog-laden landscapes, ruins of towns that had never existed, creatures that should not be. The tunnel was no longer a simple passage through the mountain. It was a gateway. A choice had to be made. Would the protagonist fight against the inevitable? Could they jump, risking the unknown outside, or stay and accept their place among the lost? But deep down, they already knew the answer. There was no escape. And so the train continues, forever lost, forever collecting new souls. If you ever find yourself aboard a train bound for the Tsarichina Tunnel, pray you never hear the whispers.